the right thing to do is always very difficult to determine, right? As a non-specialist, how do I know what's right for my patient? I only know a little bit. I'm not a surgeon. I don't do surgery. How do I know the patient should go to surgery and the surgeon's just dragging his feet? I think the patient should go to surgery. I think it's going to be better for him. But do I really know? I guess you could also make a counter argument. Does the surgeon actually know either? These things are all about the future. Who knows the future? Not me, not you. That's why I always find it very fishy when, the news reports on people who are predicting the future. It often comes in many ways. They don't outright say, Nostradamus made a prediction, because everybody knows that's silly. I want to laugh at them. They couch it in other ways to make it more subtle, more hidden. So it slips by many, many people's filters, and they just blindly trust them. And Esper said this. Esther made a comment on this. If this were to happen, then this would happen. Again, you can't predict the future. It's a lesson I've learned over and over in the stock market, which I think if you ever do stocks, you would know. They make it seem so simple, right? Was it called trading places or what was it? Where two people get some insider information on orange juice prices or orange prices and make some trades and become, rich off of that. It's not so simple. Sometimes a stock performs great and you're like, but they didn't beat their earnings, they missed their earnings. Sometimes a stock beats their earnings and the stock still drops. And it's always then easy to come with an explanation after the fact. Oh, well, they expected more beat of the earnings. It's already priced in. Whatever that means, right? Oh, this or that, right? It's always easy to explain why this or that happens. At work, at the hospital, many times you explain, oh, we tried this, but it didn't work because of this. But I'm pretty sure that you didn't know that to start out with. Otherwise, you might have done something differently, right? You wouldn't do something that's not going to work. That's just futile. And most of us are not into futility. We go to work because we want to do something to change, to help, right? And that's the thing about making predictions. You simply don't know. It's enough to say that you go based on the best evidence, the best knowledge known at the time. I would venture to say yes, but not a full yes, because it's not like evidence is a black and white thing. It's not like information is either known or unknown, right? Many times we have partial information. So we check somebody's blood. There's a billion pieces of information that can be determined from blood. And we look at a very, very, very small fraction of it. Think about it. The blood sample that you get can be tested for almost everything under the sun. I mean, technically you put it in different bottles, but that's because of the way they process it, the way they store it. It has nothing to do with whether or not the information existed in the bloodstream or in a blood sample that you've obtained, because it did. Whether or not you obtain it is a whole other thing. An analogy would be like saying the patient didn't give you that information. I say in the vast majority of cases, that's correct. The patient did not give you that information. They did not volunteer it. But does it mean they did not have it? They could not have told you. And if you ask, sometimes they'll tell you. They just didn't know it's important. Other times you ask and you realize they actually don't know. But is it that they don't know or you didn't spend enough time getting the information from them? If you were cross-examined in court, did they just give up after asking you a question saying, oh, you don't know? I'm pretty sure that a good prosecutor or defense attorney or whoever spend a little bit more time and effort than just giving up. They ask you questions around it, ways to try to really delve into it, milk any and every little bit of information out of you. Is that something that we do in the hospital? Some people do, most people don't, right? Sometimes you also have to realize it takes some rapport, a relationship between the doctor and the patient before they really start opening up. And they hide a lot of information in the beginning. Why is that? They don't trust you? They don't want to get better? It all doesn't make sense to a doctor like me, but they do, and that's a fact. In addition to getting information, you have to filter the information. Almost always there's too much information. So you filter it, you summarize it, you condense it. For a physical exam, if you want to have a thorough, detailed physical exam, that'll take you half an hour. And if you don't have the proper skills, you may never be able to even do it in half an hour because you just don't know enough to do a proper physical exam. For example, for those of us who aren't neurologists, do we know all the testing they do? Absolutely not. They do all these tricks to test if it's conscious or unconscious what the patient's doing. They do reflexes that I've never heard of. And all these things show you something about the body, but they're maneuvers. Just like orthopedics does lots of maneuvers. Determine if this is a real issue in the shoulder or not a big deal. I don't know auto maneuvers. Is there any doctor who knows all the exam? I venture to say House MD, but he's actually not real. So then, if you don't know all the maneuvers in the exam, how can you say the exam is normal? What does normal mean? Is it like a person, you or me, doesn't know things about cars? When examining an old car, saying, "Yeah, seems good." Yeah, that sort of means nothing. Nobody would trust you or me, right? To examine a car. That's why we have mechanics out there and mobile mechanics who can inspect a car for you, which you're going to look at to buy secondhand, or even, firsthand if you're skeptical of dealers. Actually, don't know what the warranty policy is on new cars. Given the lemon laws, I presume it's not as great as buying from a, big box retailer or Costco. But that's the thing. We have information that may or may not be correct. How are you supposed to predict the future or make a judgment call? Oh, and I forgot. There's also this thing called logic, uh, processing, judgment. That differs from people to people. That's a nice way of putting it. Some people just are bad at diagnosing, bad at making plans, bad at decisions in general. And some of them happen to be doctors. So what do you say then? Remember thinking how stupid doctors were when they say comments like, "Oh, your EEG looks fine. Your fall, you didn't come in because you had a seizure." Like, how is that a correct statement? I mean, if you know nothing, maybe that works. But I would hope you know something. So you could have a normal EEG, electroencephalogram. It's when they put those leads on your head. Looks like you're, an alien or something. And they look at your brain waves. Just because normal right now doesn't mean it wasn't normal a little bit ago. It's like saying, "Oh yeah, yeah, you're normal right now. So you actually did not have trouble breathing earlier." Uh, yeah, okay. That's not correct. You could be normal right now, but had trouble breathing earlier. Like, why is that such a hard thing to realize? So the whole process is imprecise, non-scientific, faulty evidence combined with faulty logic, combined with faulty decision-making abilities, as in the common decision making that people sort of conflate, get confused about is that if you don't make a decision, things are gonna hold still until you do. It doesn't work that way. For example, you don't make a decision, and thus time comes to a standstill. Your medical condition doesn't worsen or improve and just stays exactly the same as it is right now until you make a decision. Because not just the world, but the universe is waiting for you. And again, where do people come up with these ideas? That's just simply wrong. So in this system, why does anybody think they could predict the future? Going back to the original question, why do I think that the specialist should do it? Or why do I think the specialist should not do it? How could the specialist think he could do it or not do it when he doesn't know any better? How do any of us know anything? And for me, that's why I work with adults. Because I don't have a crystal ball and see the future. I can't predict what's going to happen. I lay out the information the best I can. I may make some recommendations, but that's all I could do. And when you minimize your role, it actually makes you feel better because you don't have the weight of the world on you. Yesterday, a guy wanted to leave. He came in for alcohol withdrawal. He still had alcohol in his system withdrawing, which means you drink a lot because most people are drawing because they don't have alcohol, but he's just used to such a higher level that he's withdrawing. And the next thing is, guess what? He's not doing great. But who am I to say that he's going to leave and die? And I don't like using fear to motivate people because I don't think that's correct. So you're not actually using fear to motivate people. You're using fear to scare people, to get them to do what you want to do, right? You give them the doomsday scenario, which is death. If you don't listen to me, if you don't do what I tell you to do, if you don't stay, you're going to die. And the reality is that he may die even if he stays. He may not die if he goes. Is there a probability associated with all those things? Most definitely. Do we know it? Definitely not, right? Depends whether you believe in fate or not. Because if you have a belief in fate, then it's going to happen whether you want to have it happen or not. And there's nothing to do about it. If you don't believe in fate and believe you could cheat fate, well, I'm pretty sure that, in the Greek myths of old, cheating fate is not a simple medical question. There's more to it than that, to cheat fate. A lot of tricks, a lot of gods involved that you have to sacrifice to and appease. It's not so simple as just giving some medicines. Who am I to decide whether people live or die? Am I to decide in your normal life what you do? Is that appropriate? Should I be there and telling you, oh, yeah, that's not a good idea, right? Not good for you. So why don't you not do that? because that will shorten your life. Yeah, no fast food for you. Thank you. That's not good. Don't do it. I disallow it. If I can't make those decisions, why can't I make the big decisions while you're here at the hospital? Am I a prisoner? Am I imprisoning you? What do I do in this hospital? I don't know. All I can say is I don't determine the future. I'm not God. I'm just a doctor with some medical advice. You make the decisions. And that's why I don't do pediatrics.